Content warning. The following video contains material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Got you looking in the shadows, see it creep. We are the shadow, I should way too deep. Your face on the loose, hitless seal. We're fishing for the meal, just a scholar with a range of sound. We're in and the worst here, mother sound. Ain't mercy jacket. See ya, shovel, burning in that fire. Leave the kids alone, buried in the mire. Lock you up forever, pay for your sin. Wood chip awaits, this is the end you'll spin. Your lives unraveled, under our gaze. Brendan the caught lost the wicked maze. Your murder's unclear, society drained for the truly fear. Religion's feeling back, turns the walls closes my babe to black. See ya, shovel, burning in that fire. Leave the kids alone, buried in the mire. Lock you up forever, pay for your sin. Wood chip awaits, this is the end you'll spin. Shadows you won't ever escape. Justice like thunder, sealing your fate. Oh, warning to all our children, you'll not touch. Your downfall is here, it's the final cut. See ya, shovel, burning in that fire. Leave the kids alone, buried in the mire. Lock you up forever, pay for your sin. Wood chip awaits, this is the end you'll spin.
Just when you thought you could turn your back and walk away, the dark cloud of human indignity follows you. You have no choice but to turn and look it in the eye. It's the sex offender hit list.
Utah County Sheriff's Office saying an Eagle Mountain teacher fled to Brazil after being charged with 42 counts of criminal sexual misconduct with juveniles. Thanks for joining us for 2 News at 5. I'm Heidi Hatch.
And I'm Brian Schnee. Krista McPeak has been making calls to Rockwell Charter School today and talking with parents. She joins us live tonight. Kristen?
I just actually got done speaking with a parent. She's really concerned about the way the school handled these allegations. Now, school got out about 2 hours ago. Things are pretty quiet right now, but I tried talking with administrators at the school. They say they're not commenting. After calls to Rockwell Charter School. Hi, my name's Krista McPeak. I'm a journalist with KUTV, and no comment.
There was allegations that he had had an inappropriate sexual relationship with two juvenile females.
The Utah County Sheriff's Office is sharing details on why they charged 39-year-old Ricardo Prins with over 40 counts of criminal sexual misconduct. Prins was a teacher at Rockwell Charter School in Eagle Mountain. Court documents state that charges such as rape and forcible sexual abuse took place in his classroom after school, a storage room, his car, and remote locations. When authorities learned of the allegations in December,
in that same time frame, it sounds like that Ricardo Prins had left the country.
What's next in this investigation and getting justice for someone who is in another country that committed a crime here?
With the criminal charges, there'll be an active arrest warrant, and when and if he ever comes back into the United States, he'll be arrested on that warrant. In the meantime, the juveniles who are the victims of these crimes, they still have resources that are available to them through our victim advocates.
The Utah County Sheriff's Office says if Prins wanted to come back to the U.S., it would be tough.
One of the things that had expired was his work visa for him to be able to be a teacher at the charter school.
How long was he living here for?
I'm not exactly sure.
I asked the school the following questions. Did you do a background check on Mr. Prins? How could this allegedly happen inside a school? What is the school doing to make students and faculty safe? Is the school reviewing hiring policies, and what changes will be made? I have not heard back.
The FBI looking for more victims of a former high school teacher. Cody Richardson was indicted by a grand jury for obtaining about 100 images of child sexual abuse material. This material, I'll tell you, is disturbing. It included photos and videos of children being sexually abused, both boys and girls, varied ages, some as young as infants. Richardson was an active ag teacher and an advisor at Holdenville High School, and investigators say he had extensive access to children. They think there could be victims here. If you have any other information on additional victims, the FBI wants to hear from you. We have posted their contact on KOCO.com.
Breaking news.
And that breaking story, certainly one that will shock parents in Chesterfield. Not one, but two teachers behind bars on child pornography charges.
Both men were arrested this afternoon after an extensive investigation by Colonial Heights Police.
Franklin White is following this breaking story from the First Alert Center. He joins us now. Franklin, one of these teachers arrested last month.
And again, he's arrested today as well. Curtin Riley, Sean Adams behind bars tonight on no bond on 25 counts of manufacturing child porn and 5 counts of indecent liberties with a child. Adams is also the man that police accused of taking pictures of a child inside of a restroom at the South Park Mall and Regal Cinemas. He was arrested for that crime exactly 1 month ago when police at that time promised it would not be the end of their investigation. Tonight, we got the proof that it was not. Adams had been a teacher at Elizabeth Davis Middle, but he has not been back since his first arrest. Now, here is the teacher who was also taken into custody earlier today. He is 33-year-old Richard Troshak III, and he was arrested at the school where he taught the Chester Early Childhood Learning Academy. Troshak is also facing felony charge of manufacturing child porn and 5 counts of indecent liberties with a child. Tonight, Chesterfield Superintendent John Murray is taking swift action in light of these arrests. He's ordering both teachers to be fired. He's also calling on Chesterfield Police and Child Protective Services to conduct a joint investigation. Riley?
Thank you, Franklin.
New now from Franklin County, Nebraska, a former employee of Franklin Public Schools is charged with first-degree sexual abuse. According to court documents, deputies found 37-year-old Anthony Campana in a car with a teenage girl behind a gas station earlier this week. Campana reportedly told deputies he cared about the teen, and sexual activities began after she turned 16. Campana was booked for sexual abuse by a school employee. A judge handed down a $10,000 bond. He was also ordered to have no contact with the teen.
Breaking news tonight, the Arlington County Police Department arresting a substitute teacher at Washington Liberty High School, charged with having a sexual relationship with a girl at the school. Timothy McGee was arrested on January 10th. Police believe that this started back in September of 2022. We're sharing this photo because police think that there could be other victims. If you have any information on this case or other possible cases of sexual abuse, please call Arlington Police.
OSBI is investigating possible misconduct between a student and teacher at Blair High School in Southwest Oklahoma. Now, OSBI says a search warrant was executed at the residence of 30-year-old Brittany Lee Gray, a former counselor and teacher at Blair High School. Now, evidence in the search found Gray had engaged in inappropriate communication and physical contact with the student multiple times. Gray was booked into Jackson County Jail on charges of second-degree rape and destroying evidence. You can stick with KOCO for any updates on this ongoing investigation.
Substitute teacher has been arrested after police say he made inappropriate comments to students. CBS News Miami Steve Majiri joins us live from the TGK jail, where the teacher has posted bond and may be getting out of jail very soon. Right, Steve?
That's right. The person at the front desk told us that he may not be getting out tonight because he was not on the list. But as you said, he has submitted his bond request. And that teacher's name is Jeffrey Bergara. And he was assigned to be a substitute teacher at Kinloch Park Middle School by a company that places substitute teachers in schools here in the area. And a spokesperson for that company says he was assigned after passing all of their screenings and background checks.
Good afternoon, Mr. Vergara.
24-year-old substitute teacher Jeffrey Vergara appeared in bond court. He's accused of making inappropriate sexual comments and advances towards female students.
You must stay at least 500 feet away from the victims, their home and school at all times. Do you understand the stay away order, sir?
Police say Vergara used WhatsApp, Snapchat, and text messages to make these requests, comments, and advances towards the students. Police say he was employed by Kelly Education, which is a service that helps place substitute teachers into schools. A spokesperson for the company said that Vergara passed all of the state's screening requirements, along with criminal background checks. The company sent a statement saying, Kelly Education is deeply troubled by the reports of inappropriate behavior involving our former employee while on assignment. The safety and well-being of students across Miami-Dade County Public Schools are our top priorities, and we cooperate closely with our school partners and law enforcement to ensure all reports are investigated thoroughly. The substitute educator's employment has been terminated.
I would be asking for an elevated bond with respect to counts 1 and 2.
Police say these incidents happened back as far as October. Vergara has been assigned a public defender. We've reached out to his attorney, and an official from the public defender's office said they had no comment. Miami-Dade Schools sent us a statement in response, saying, Miami-Dade County Public Schools is deeply troubled by the concerning allegations made against this individual. The Miami-Dade Schools Police Department conducted an investigation which led to his arrest. Upon receiving the allegation, he was precluded from serving as a substitute teacher or in any other capacity in the district. Miami-Dade County Public Schools goes to great lengths to provide a safe school environment for our students and employees. And as you heard from the judge, he has been ordered to stay away from the alleged victims in this case, and he also cannot serve as a substitute teacher while his case works its way through the courts. Live in West Miami-Dade, Steve Magiri, CBS News, Miami.
Okay, Steve, thanks a lot.
Tonight, a Portsmouth teacher is out on bond after officers arrested him for child sex crimes. 34-year-old Jarvis Green, who teaches at Churchland High School, is facing several charges, including taking indecent liberties with a child in a supervisory role and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Brianna Fallon joins us in the studio with details. Brianna, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Dana, so this all started when a former student at the school made allegations against Jarvis Green on social media in November. The school placed Green on administrative leave and notified law enforcement and Child Protective Services. Since then, police have been investigating up to his arrest today. The Churchland High School community is concerned after Portsmouth Police Department officers arrested a teacher earlier today on child-related sexual offenses.
It's disturbing. I work with kids, and I can imagine not even thinking of something like that.
34-year-old Jarvis Green is facing charges of indecent liberties with a child in a supervisory role, sodomy, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
2 daughters that go there now and one that just graduated like last year. It makes me want to go home and talk to them and see, you know, what's really going on at that school.
Officers took Green into custody earlier today. Now he is out on bond. School administrators placed Green on administrative leave last year after police began an investigation into allegations a former student made against him on social media.
Just talk to the kids and have some type of mental health person in there so they can just go and talk to outside of another teacher or another student.
Portsmouth police are encouraging anyone with information about this case to come forward by contacting the Investigations Bureau. If you have information but want to remain anonymous, you can contact the crime line at 1-888-LOCK-YOU-UP. Janelle Burden, principal of Churchland High School, sent out a message to the parents at the school stating their school counseling team remains available for anyone who may want to talk. The principal also says if parents have any concerns, contact her directly. Brianna Fallon, 13 News Now.
All right, thanks, Brianna. Once again, if you have any information that can help investigators in this case, reach out to Portsmouth Police.
Police on the Western Slope arrested a teacher after they say she sent inappropriate messages to a student. Lisa Thayer is a teacher at Colorado West Christian School in Montrose. The student's father reported the messages to police, who then arrested Thayer on Friday. We don't know much about the student other than that they are a teenager. A formal filing of charges is set for next week.
We have a really disturbing update this morning out of Comal County. Records show a former high school teacher is now charged charged with more crimes involving minors.
In 2023, Orlando Nauman was arrested for an improper relationship with a student. Now he's back in jail on multiple accusations of child pornography.
KENS 5's Sarah Duran joins us now with more details on this latest arrest. Sarah, what have you found out?
Barry, so according to jail records, 40-year-old Orlando Nauman has 18 additional charges. The former Canyon Lake teacher and coach is mostly accused of possession with intent to promote child pornography, but he's also behind bars this morning for online solicitation of a minor and child pornography. Now, Nauman was booked last Friday, and this photo is from his 2023 arrest for improper communication with a 15-year-old at school. At the time, he was also hit with an unrelated charge of possession of child pornography with intent to promote. Nauman resigned when an investigation was launched on campus into the alleged misconduct, and it happened during a troubling time at Canyon Lake High School. Just 2 months before his incident, another teacher was arrested for their involvement with a student. She resigned as a result. For now, it's unclear if these new charges are connected to Nauman's arrest in 2023. We will be reaching out to the Comal County Sheriff's Office, and of course, we'll update you when we hear back. In the studio, Sarah Duran, KENS 5.
Thank you, Sarah.
A teacher accused of using AI to create a fake recording of Pikesville principal Eric Eiswert making racist comments has now been arrested on a federal warrant for child pornography. His arrest comes right before his trial for the state was set to begin. Fox 45's Jessica Babb walks us through the new charges and what Darian is accused of doing.
Baltimore County State's Attorney Scott Schellenberger says Dazon Darian was arrested by federal officers at the courthouse, which means his state case is now being postponed. As these court docs show us, the charges against Darian are only mounting. This story started last year with these recordings.
I seriously don't understand why I have to constantly put up with these dumb here every day. Between these ungrateful black kids who can't test their way out of a paper bag.
Recordings with racist and anti-Semitic comments alleged to have been made by then Pikesville High School principal Eric Eiswert.
If I have to get one more complaint from one more Jew in this community, I'm going to join the other side.
An accusation that sent shockwaves through the school.
The recording was not authentic.
But he never actually made those comments. As it turns out, Dazon Darian, the former Pikesville High School athletic director, was arrested, accused of using artificial intelligence to create a fake recording. Police believe it was retaliation. Eiswert has now filed a lawsuit against Darian. Fast forward to now, with Darian in court for those charges, he was arrested by federal officers, clamping the cuffs in a second unrelated case. The 32-year-old is now facing federal charges for sexual exploitation of a child and receiving child sexual abuse material. While his attorney didn't want to comment, these graphic court docs walk us through what happened. Court docs say last year, as investigators were searching his devices and online accounts, they found photos, videos, and other files showing sexually explicit content. The court documents continuing to say many of those files showed minors, including children and teenage boys. These documents even accusing him of using Cash App to pay a minor victim to send inappropriate videos. If convicted, officials with the U.S. Attorney's Office say these charges could come with a sentence of anywhere from 5 to 30 years in prison. As for his initial charges, State's Attorney Scott Schellenberger says it's not clear when that case will be heard in court. He says so far they haven't picked a new trial date.
She was trusted by the school district and by parents, but tonight a fifth-grade teacher in Cape May Courthouse is accused of having a sexual relationship with one of her students. Detectives say the abuse started when the child was 11 and lasted for years, and that the two share a child. Wednesday night, I'm Shari Williams. Rick has the night off. The big story on Action News tonight is a South Jersey teacher behind bars accused of sexually assaulting a young boy and having a child with him. Action News reporter Leland Pender has the story from Cape May County, and detectives say the investigation is far from over.
Middle Township Police and the Cape May County Prosecutor's Office both investigating here. Prosecutors say these alleged crimes occurred between 2016 and 2020, but the arrest just coming Wednesday. They're now asking anyone that might have even more information to please come forward. Once a fifth grade teacher, now behind bars with bond revoked. 34-year-old Laura Karen was taken into custody at a home on Orbit Drive Wednesday in Cape May Courthouse. Prosecutors allege she sexually assaulted a former student for several years and had his baby.
Do you know Miss Karen? There's nothing to see here. There's no one that wants to speak with you.
This unidentified man pulled up to the home while we were there. A short time later, another woman appeared from the home after we'd already left.
Do you want to talk to us?
No, I want you to see.
You came outside. Please, I'm willing to talk to you. Authorities say the abuse began when the victim was 11 years old. According to the criminal complaint, a few years later, Karen gave birth to the victim's baby. Karen taught at Middle Township Elementary No. 2, and the victim was once her student. Prosecutors say Karen and the victim's family became friends, leading to the victim and his siblings staying overnight with Karen once or twice a week, but at some point they began living with Karen permanently. Investigators say the case came to light last month when the victim's father posted on social media saying Karen's 5-year-old child looked very similar to him and his son. Neighbors say the arrest Wednesday appeared discreet. This woman said she saw multiple black SUVs but didn't realize they were police.
If it's true, I feel sorry for the people.
According to the prosecutor's office, the school district will have support services and counselors available for students, teachers, or families who may need that in light of this news. We did reach out to the school district for comment, but did not hear back. Here in the community of Cape May Courthouse, Leland Pinder, Channel 6 Action News.
Former Chicago Public Schools gym teacher will serve 17 years in prison for sexually assaulting 3 students. A judge sentenced Andrew Castro yesterday. He pleaded guilty to grooming and assaulting 3 boys dating back to 2017. Castro taught at Lorca Elementary at the time. Last year, the school district reached a $2 million settlement in a lawsuit over that abuse.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness News.
Tonight, parents are voicing their disgust tonight over the actions of a junior high teacher in Linden.
Utah County detectives arresting the teacher yesterday for possession of child pornography. Despite the shock of this alleged crime, News Specialist Brian Carlson explains why some families were not surprised.
Yeah, shock, but not complete surprise, at least for everyone. I talked to one parent here at Oak Canyon today who hadn't heard what happened, but before I could tell her which teacher was arrested, she knew right away who it was. 50-year-old art teacher Travis Adamson arrested yesterday for possession of child pornography. Detectives searching his home say they found sexual pictures of children 7 to 14 years old.
During that said search warrant, they located thousands of images.
Detectives say Adamson admitted to viewing the images over the last 5 to 6 years. Families with children who've had his class at Oak Canyon during that time today feel repulsed.
And it made me feel, literally sick to my stomach to find out news about this.
It's very upsetting that children are exposed to people who are viewing those kinds of things and are around my beautiful granddaughters.
Some parents say their students got the news in disbelief.
She texted me, she's like, "This is my teacher, I can't believe it." Like, she's just shocked.
While others say Adamson made their daughter and granddaughters feel uncomfortable.
He had talked to other students, mostly females, that kind of had the same feeling about him.
Deputies right now don't know if Adamson committed any acts against his students and are asking parents to talk to their children.
And if they think that there's anything that could be inappropriate, to please come forward and talk to us.
Even if he didn't, several parents already feel violated.
So it's shocking and scary for sure to know that our kids are around somebody like that.
Right now, the Alpine School District says Adamson is on administrative leave. He's facing charges of sexual exploitation of a minor. And the Sheriff's Office says they're reviewing the possibility for more charges as they work through their investigation. In Linden, Brian Carlson, KSL 5 News.
A Woodmore High School paraprofessional accused of raping her 15-year-old disabled student was arraigned in Sandusky County Court this morning. Michael Sandlin was in court and joined us in studio with the details. Michael, what do you know about this case?
Kaylee, the woman charged, 45-year-old Kristen Coble, was allegedly found inside the victim's home Monday afternoon by the victim's mother, who claims she saw Coble committing sexual acts on her 15-year-old son, a boy who the prosecutor says has an IQ of only 58. Coble faced a judge for the first time earlier today, while the victim's family watched on.
You keep your hands out of your pockets for me, please.
It's Monday afternoon, and Sandusky County Sheriff's deputies are in the midst of arresting paraprofessional Kristen Coble inside her home, charging her with the rape of one of her own students, a disabled minor.
You don't want to talk to anybody before you talk to an attorney. Okay.
2 days later, Coble, now suspended from her job, arrives in court in chains. Following her arrival, proceedings move quickly. Her attorney, Ronnie Wingate, explained Coble's wishes to waive her preliminary hearing altogether.
All right, do you understand that you are waiving your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
But the defense did take issue with the bond. The prosecution was requesting $150,000 and an electric GPS monitor system. This led to a brief discussion about the nature of Coble's charges. Is someone charged with the rape of a student fit to have an affordable bail?
I think that we have an individual that could apply and could comply with any and all terms of a pretrial release bond, and I would respectfully ask the court to consider something lesser than $150,000.
It is the job of bond to protect society, including the most vulnerable of our society, which I believe that this 15-year-old victim who's autistic falls into that most vulnerable.
Before the judge made her decision, the prosecution punctuated their argument with a statement from a victim advocate who spoke with the family.
They, however, are very concerned about her being released today, that she is a danger to society, and they do ask if you do grant a bond that it would be set high.
This settled the judge's determination. The bond would be set at $100,000 with a requirement of cash as surety and a command to have absolutely no contact with the family. Coble is now set to face a jury. Meanwhile, the victim's family asked for privacy.
What these people have been through in the last 48 hours, absolutely unimaginable. And so they've asked us to ask the media, and especially social media, to give them some privacy, let this court and the justice system just do its job so they can move forward.
I got a chance to speak with Sandusky County Sheriff Chris Hilton, who calls this case an anomaly, saying cases like these don't normally happen in their county. He calls it a disappointing episode, saying, quote, "When we send children to be with school professionals, we expect them to be safe." Reporting in studio, I'm Michael Sandlin for WTOL 11.
A former teacher in Fort Collins is facing felony charges after police say he had a sexual relationship with an underage student.
Fort Collins police arrested Brendan Gallagher. He is accused of felony sexual assault on a child by a person in a position of trust. Your Northern Colorado reporter Dylan Thomas learned this arrest comes years after the alleged relationship with the child.
Good morning, class! In this video, posted by Poudre School District on social media in 2019, then teacher Brendan Gallagher is featured as an educator who taught the television production class at Fossil Ridge High School, among other courses. In the video, which we have blurred in part to conceal student identities, Gallagher talks about how his approach to teaching is establishing personal relationships with students.
For me personally, intervening in that critical transition between childhood and adulthood is what teaching is all about. I feel like high school is the last opportunity to catch students before the stakes of their choices are potentially catastrophic or life-altering. How do you work professionally even when you've got personal feelings that you need to set aside in that moment?
While this video was posted on social media in 2019, it was deleted this week after we learned Gallagher was accused of having a sexual relationship with a student years ago. Fort Collins police tell us they received a tip in May of last year claiming Gallagher had confided in a coworker about a sexual relationship with a student in 2015. That's when the Crimes Against Persons Unit intervened, making contact with the alleged victim, their investigation resulting in Gallagher's arrest on January 16th of this year. Gallagher posted a $200,000 cash bond, but now police are asking anyone who may have been a witness to the alleged relationship to speak with them. And because he was a teacher in Fort Collins and Berthoud, police say they are investigating whether or not there were any other students who had similar experiences. In Fort Collins, Dylan Thomas, covering Colorado First.
Thank you, Dylan.
A now former Bartlett ISD teacher is facing sexual assault charges against a student. The Bartlett ISD superintendent sent a letter to parents this afternoon. The teacher was arrested Wednesday. Bartlett ISD says an investigation started in August when the district first learned of the allegations of an improper student relationship. The educator was also immediately placed on leave and is no longer with the district.
Disturbing allegations tonight against a former DeSoto County High School basketball coach and youth minister accused of sexual battery of a child. Lindsay Whiteside was indicted by a DeSoto County grand jury. It's believed the victim is a teenage girl. WREG's Mike Sirianni is in DeSoto County and has reaction to this developing story.
The allegations in this DeSoto County grand jury indictment very unsettling, too graphic to describe. The accusation against Lindsay Whiteside very disturbing to one DeSoto County parent I spoke with.
I have a teenager at DeSoto Central High School.
Shamika Galladay concerned after learning Lindsay Whiteside, who once coached basketball at the school Galladay's son attends, faces one count of sexual battery of a child.
I just think that anyone that is an adult should be held accountable for their actions. These are children, their minds aren't fully developed yet, so she should be held accountable for her actions. You know, right is right and wrong is wrong.
Whiteside is also a former youth minister at Getwell Church in Hernando. It's unknown where the alleged act or acts occurred, but the indictment states it happened between May and November, at a time when Whiteside was in a position of trust or authority over the child. While Whiteside was indicted in December, she was arrested in November on a sexual battery charge. DeSoto County District Attorney Matthew Barton says this is an ongoing investigation and urging anyone who may have been affected by Whiteside's actions or who may have information related to the case to come forward. The serious accusations against the former teacher and youth minister makes Shamika Galladay glad she has open communication with her son.
You know, someone maybe touching you inappropriate or saying inappropriate things to you, that should never happen. To always be aware. You know, it's just not right, and you have to have these talks nowadays because, you know, you never know where people's minds are.
For your news leader in DeSoto County, Mike Sirianni, WREG News Channel 3.
Whiteside is currently out on bond. No court date has been set in her case.
Turlock man arrested for sex crimes with the minor appeared in court today. 54-year-old James Hooker pled not guilty. KCRA 3's Anahita Jafari was there this morning asking him about those charges.
54-year-old James Hooker appeared at the Stanislaus County Superior Court this morning. Hooker used a black hooded jacket to hide his face. Hooker was arrested on November 5th and booked into Stanislaus County Jail on charges of lewd acts with a child 14 to 15 years old and for possession of child pornography. He was released on bail that same day. In court today, he pleaded not guilty. James Hooker gained national televised attention back in 2012 when he left his wife and kids for a former student. Now a new victim, now an adult, told police in May she and Hooker started seeing each other when she was a 15-year-old middle school student.
Mr. Hooker, I'm a reporter with KCRA 3 News. I wanted to see if...
As Hooker was leaving court today, we asked him to respond to his charges.
Can you respond to any of your charges you're facing?
He ignored us.
You're facing charges of juvenile molestation. Can you respond?
And stayed silent.
Do you have anything to say about this?
In Stanislaus County.
Can you respond to the allegations you're facing?
I'm Anahita Jafari, KCRA 3 News.
Hooker's next court date is set for January 30th.
This courtroom, as we saw during the 6-day trial, was packed today. There were several observers who stood in the back for several hours. The hearing, as you mentioned, Jason, was emotional as the judge heard from the parents of both the victim and the defendant, lawyers on both sides as well, as the judge weighed a sentence of somewhere between 15 and 185 years in prison.
At the family's request, they just want to express their gratitude not only to the FBI for jumping on this, to the U.S. Attorney's Office for an incredible prosecution. They did an outstanding job, and they are very grateful that the healing process can now start for their son, for their family, and for the community.
Reaction from the attorney for the victim shortly after the sentence was imposed. A federal judge sending former Gilman School teacher and now convicted child abuser, exploiter, and pornographer Christopher Bandan away for the next 35 years. He made his young victim's life hell, the judge said. He called Bandan cruel, cunning, calculated, and cold, called him dangerous, and then called him out, saying, "I find the defendant is overtly unrepentant, even defiant." The parents of the victim both addressed the court today and pushed for the maximum sentence allowed. When we learned that evil had infiltrated our son's life, we could not imagine the level of trauma, the victim's mother told the court.
This defendant has been sentenced to 35 years. There is no parole in the federal system, and everyone can now move on with healing and move on with their lives without fear or threat from this person. And they are incredibly grateful that this long 2 years has now come to an end.
During the hearing, the victim's parents told the court even when incarcerated, the defendant hired private investigators to try and smear their son's reputation and to harass and intimidate his family and friends. They called Bandan a narcissist and a monster. Bandan's own father apologized to, quote, all the victims and their family members, but the defendant himself remained defiant. He told the judge, quote, "My lawyer said I shouldn't say this, but I know that I'm not guilty." He also told the judge, quote, "The only thing I'm worried about is my transition from the Howard County Detention Center to a new facility." He will spend 35 years behind bars wherever those bars happen to be. Reporting from Federal Court Downtown, I'm Kate Amara, WBAL TV 11 News.
A Waco ISD teacher's aide arrested in December has been arrested a second time, again accused of misconduct involving a student. Roosevelt Alexander had posted $2,000 bond and was released mid-month after being arrested on accusations that he had shown explicit material to a 16-year-old girl at G.L. Wiley Opportunity Center. The new affidavit states that while the first victim was being interviewed, officers were made aware that another student had warned her about him, stating that he had told her he would pay her money to see pictures of, quote, her stuff, end quote. This student was 15 years old. By the time this new information was discovered, Roosevelt was already free on bond from the first arrest. Investigators sought and obtained an arrest warrant for criminal solicitation of a minor. Roosevelt was then arrested a second time and was booked into the jail on December 31st. Jail records indicate his bond was set at $5,000 on the second charge, which he posted and was released New Year's Day.
A Levy County teacher was given a $500,000 bond after his arrest on charges of having a sexual relationship with a student. Deputies say that relationship lasted for more than a year with a student at Bronson Middle High School. TV20's Deja Clayton joins us live outside the Bronson Middle High School. And Deja, this teacher is facing 5 counts of sexual assault.
Well, Levy County deputies made the arrest last night and believe more charges will be added. So 33-year-old Jonathan Irizarry is charged with having a sexual relationship with one of his students. Deputies started the investigation when they received an anonymous tip through the Department of Children and Families. The student was in Irizarry's theater class and he coached her in the school's High Q club. The report details how Irizarry blamed his drinking problem for the reason he started the relationship. The public information officer for Sheriff's Office says Irizarry brought the student to hotels in Gainesville for sex. Irizarry also told deputies if he didn't continue the relationship with the teenager, she threatened to cut herself or put snakes in his home to scare him. Someone says this is why the abuse hotline was created.
Obviously, I can't disclose who the anonymous tipster is, but that was the intent and design of the 1-800-ABUSE hotline. For people, if they saw something, they could make that tip and ensure that the tip went to the appropriate authorities, whether it's the Department of Children and Families.
High-Tide mother and former substitute teacher accused of being inappropriate with a child
and an animal, and she is now behind bars. 33-year-old Amanda Smith Tucker was arrested by the Tift County Sheriff's Office last Friday and charged with child molestation, possession of child pornography, and bestiality. The Sheriff's Office says that they were alerted by the GBI to the possible case of child abuse. Last year, Tucker was hired by ESS to be a substitute teacher for Tift County schools, but quit after her first day. That was in October of 2024. ESS is the company that the school system uses to hire, train, and place substitute teachers. According to the incident report from the Sheriff's Office, all of the offenses occurred at Smith's home. She is currently an inmate in the Tift County Jail.
Today, a former Pennsbury School District music instructor was sentenced on child pornography charges. Investigators say Christopher Bygott of Hamilton, New Jersey, had thousands of images and videos of child sex abuse on his computer. He was arrested in December after a cyber tip was traced back to his school district IP address. Bygott was sentenced to 3 years probation and must register as a sex offender for 15 years. He's also banned from having any unsupervised contact with minors.
Seriously? 3 years probation? What the hell's going on, man?
Former high school teacher in Fort Collins is now facing sexual assault charges. Fort Collins police say Brendan Gallagher had a relationship with a female student at Fossil Ridge High School back in 2015. Investigators say Poudre School District leaders found out about it in May of last year after he told staff. Gallagher was placed on administrative leave that same month. He was in police custody last week but was released after making bond that was set at $200,000. Investigators say Gallagher had a similar job in Berthoud and are now concerned that there could be more victims. We have that contact information for the detective in charge of this case on our website.
Music teacher Joshua DeWitt facing child pornography charges. The 50-year-old employed at the Cambridge private school Buckingham, Brown and Nichols and previously working at Cambridge Public Schools. The DA's office alleges DeWitt used the social media platform Snapchat to communicate with multiple boys under the age of 18. And the chats were allegedly sexual in nature. At Cambridge District Court yesterday, DeWitt was arraigned on several charges related to child porn, accused of exchanging videos and photos with minors online. Police say at this point there's no indication students at BB&N or Cambridge Public Schools are involved. We did reach out to BB&N for a comment or statement and have not heard back. Live in Cambridge, Sarah Conji, WCVB News Centre 5.
A teacher at a Catholic college in Melbourne's West has been charged over child sex offences. Troy Ollis showed no emotion as he faced the magistrate's court after he was stood down and banned from the school. Amber Johnston with this exclusive report.
A teacher in a position of trust now at the centre of sickening allegations.
Is there anything you want to say to the teachers and the parents at the school?
33-year-old Troy Ollis had nothing to say after he faced court for the first time, accused of having sex with a child when he was in a position of authority or care.
Mr. Ollis, is there anything you want to say about the charges against you?
Mr. Ollis was an English teacher at MacKillop College, a prestigious Catholic school in Werribee. Court documents revealed he's charged with one count of sexual penetration of a 16-year-old girl, another count of possessing child abuse material, and one count of producing it. In a statement, the Melbourne Archdiocese Catholic School said it acted immediately to suspend the teacher and inform all agencies. In a letter to parents and carers, Principal Chris Caldo confirmed the allegations and even named Mr. Ollis. The college is fully supporting the police and government agencies responsible for the safety of children and young people. At this stage, Victoria Police has contacted impacted families.
As parents, students and teachers try to make sense of the allegations, support isn't too far away, with the principal organising a team of counsellors to be on standby for those who need it.
They'll be available the moment school returns next week, while for Mr. Ollis, the wait begins to learn his fate. He'll be back in court in May. Amber Johnston, 9 News.
A former Carl Junction school teacher is under arrest for a child sex crime. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. In a news release tonight, the police chief says authorities have arrested former Carl Junction teacher Craig S. Smith on charges of possessing child pornography and stalking. Police say forensic analysis led to the discovery of numerous images of child pornography on Smith's school-issued electronic devices. The last report this evening, Smith was in custody and charges were under review by the Jasper County Prosecutor's Office. In the release, CJ Police Chief Mark McCall says, quote, "The stalking charge is based on a pattern of concerning behavior directed toward a minor student over the last several years." The chief makes point to note the department has not released any images of the minor victim.
And this morning, a member of a nonprofit that mentors our area's youth now sits behind bars.
Yeah, the 24-year-old is accused of having a sexual relationship with a teenager, but he says he did nothing wrong.
Want to bring in KENS 5's Sarah Duran now with the details. And Sarah, police believe there could be more victims.
Audrey, yes, they do, and that's because they believe the suspect worked very closely with young children at this nonprofit. Now, police did not name the organization because they tell us they are fully cooperating with the investigation, but they are warning parents this morning if you notice anything off about your child to give them a call. And that's basically how we got to this point in the case. The parents of the victim notified police about the relationship between their daughter and 24-year-old Cesar Renderos, and it reportedly went on for several months. Investigators don't believe Renderos met the teen through work, but said parents need to be extra vigilant if their child uses the internet. Experts urge parents to monitor their child's social media accounts, and they say the more involved parents are in their children's lives, the better.
It seems like they get younger and younger when they're able to access the internet and understand, different things, especially when it comes to sex. When their children are hiding their phones or hiding their tablets and things like that, that's the time that you need to be worried.
At last check, Renderos remains in the Bexar County Jail. He faces 1 count of sexual assault of a child in connection to this case. However, police say there could be additional federal charges he could be facing. So they are asking if you know anything about this suspect or the case to give them a call. Reporting live, Sarah Duran, KENS 5.
Tonight, Washington County deputies have arrested a Banks High School teacher accused of sexually abusing a student.
The 66-year-old teacher is charged with sexual abuse in the 2nd degree and luring a minor. However, as the investigation is underway, officials say more charges could be possible.
Fox 12's Michaela Armstrong has the details.
Pete Riel, detectives arrested Wyman Smith, the math teacher here at Banks High School, after allegations that Smith had sexual contact with a student. Now they are concerned about the possibility that there could be even more victims. 66-year-old Banks High School math teacher Wyman Smith was arrested Tuesday on charges of sexual abuse in the 2nd degree and luring a minor. This comes after reports to the Washington County Sheriff's Office over concerns Smith had sexual contact with a student. After the allegations surfaced last week, Smith was immediately placed on leave, but remains listed on the school staff directory as of Tuesday night. As more was uncovered, the Sheriff's Office says detectives learned Smith had sexually inappropriate conversations with multiple students and had sexual contact with at least 1 student on school property. Smith is facing felony charges. The Washington County Sheriff's Office says there could be more victims, and if so, there could be additional charges for Smith as the investigation continues. The Banks School District Superintendent says the district is working with law enforcement and responded to the arrest in a statement saying, quote, "These charges are very serious and represent behavior that is completely unacceptable. We are committed to ensuring the safety and well-being of students at all times and will not tolerate any behavior or action that does not serve that purpose." Anyone with information about Smith or other alleged victims is encouraged to contact the Washington County Sheriff's Office. In Banks, Michaela Armstrong, Fox 12 Oregon.
A retired Columbiana County teacher faces 75 felony charges after authorities say he possessed lewd images of children.
James Watt was a STEM teacher at Lisbon's David Anderson High School until his retirement early last year.
Now he faces charges of pandering and possessing obscenity involving minors. Sydney Canty details how the images were found. Good evening, Sydney.
Good evening, Derek. Madison, certain servers have algorithms that flag pornographic images of children when they're downloaded, and then they send that information to national organizations to get the local authorities involved. Back in October, Columbiana police seized 18 devices from 68-year-old James Watt based on information from a cyber tip. When pornographic images of minors are downloaded, they're flagged for the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force.
They have subpoenas developed to figure out the physical locations for these tips. Typically that's through IP addresses, and then when they finally dial it down the area, then it gets assigned to us and we carry the investigation from there.
This, the list of 75 images found, leading to a secret indictment. Watt, a former track and field coach and STEM teacher at David Anderson Junior-Senior High School for more than 3 decades, is charged with pandering and possessing obscenity involving minors. The school's superintendent said, "We don't have any reasonable record to believe any students were victimized while he was employed here. Nothing in his personnel file suggested any inappropriate or criminal acts, or we would have acted on it." Whitfield says that these cases are disturbing and that what's actually happening behind the scenes goes much deeper than what's on the surface.
Just because you're in the privacy of your own home doesn't mean that you can engage in these criminal activities. Each video or each image is a victim.
With more local news, I'm Sydney Canty.
New this morning, a former Rock Canyon High School teacher is facing charges for sexual exploitation of a child. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office arrested Christian Classic this week. He's now being held at the Douglas County Detention Facility on a $150,000 bond. Investigators say they are not looking for any more victims right now, but anyone who might have information can still contact them.
Okay, sometimes I like to fast forward and just see what happened to these guys, you know. So we've got Christian Classic. Let's go forward about almost a year on the nose. 1 second here. Okay, so here's the breakdown on what really happened. On January 14th, a colleague walked in on Kasich, sitting at his desk with his pants down, watching child sexual abuse videos on his school laptop. Further investigation revealed Kasich's USB drive contained a significant number of child sex abuse material. He also took pictures of his students in class without them knowing and used AI to turn them into pornographic pictures and videos. So Chief Justice Ryan Stewart sentenced 56-year-old Kasich to a mere 90 days in jail and 10 years on the sex offender registry. Another slap in the face comes when Chief Deputy District Attorney Danielle Jaramillo said Kasich's sentence provided a measure of closure for students and families. Just insane. The district attorney himself, George Brockler, further condemned Kasich's actions, warning other potential child predators that they will be caught and sent to prison. Well, 90 days is a very far cry from prison, if you ask me. What a complete travesty of justice, in my opinion.
I'd like to enter not guilty pleas at this time, so this matter.
It's the first time Ricky Leinen faces a Sacramento County Superior Court judge.
Counts 1 through 7.
The educator in the San Juan Unified School District has been in custody since Thursday when Citrus Heights police arrested 58-year-old Leinen at his home. The substitute teacher faces 8 felonies, 7 counts of lewd and lascivious acts, and 1 count of possessing child pornography. Prosecutors say from July 1st to December 1st of last year, he molested 4 boys, ages 5 and 6.
It's a really sad situation because now all these families are going to have to go through the process of getting therapy for their children.
Robin Ryan's grandchildren are enrolled at one of the 9 schools where Leinen worked in an after-school care program. Her grandkids did not interact with the suspect. She says it's important to have those safety conversations with your kids.
You have to, unfortunately, even warn little toddlers about the dangers of, the outside world, and their bodies are their own, and, And mostly that they communicate with you, because they will tell you what's going on.
There's also count 8, which will
Detectives and the district started investigating Lynan December 2nd when they received a report of a possible sexual assault. The district immediately placed Lynan on administrative leave and removed him from contact with students. He'd been working as a sub since 2020. Citrus Heights police say the investigation is not over, that they've received many phone calls from concerned parents, and police do expect to have more charges against Lynan. Now, he's expected back in court here in February for a preliminary hearing. Reporting from downtown Sacramento, Michelle Bandura, KCRA 3 News.
Concerned families or anyone with information about the Lynan case are urged to call Citrus Heights police. Bail is set for Lynan at $1.7 million.
Okay, this next story involves 22-year-old Darren Snow, and he unalived himself after he was found out messing with the elementary school students there. So there's his picture, and the news story doesn't say much about it, so that's why I put this up here. But there he is.
Found evidence of child exploitation and the production of sex abuse material. Snow was on administrative leave from the Boise School District while the investigation was underway. Families with students directly impacted and staff were notified this afternoon.
I heard this news from a mother who has a son at the school, and I was very devastated, as is she. From what I have been able to gather from my friends, teachers, and educators, they are all very upset and very devastated by this news, especially since this is in an elementary school.
As we've previously reported, Laura Bolton, a former school teacher in the Boise School District, received a settlement from Boise School District after being put on administrative leave. She now works on improving staff training to prevent inappropriate behavior by educators. She says this case shares similarities with the death of Scott Crandall, a Fairmont Junior High counselor who took his own life after facing sexual misconduct allegations. Bolton says her hope is for accountability and stronger protocols to prevent these tragedies from happening again.
I hope that the school district will do the right thing by the families and the kids that are adversely affected by this particular situation. I have faith in Boise School District, especially now that Boise Police Department has taken the reins on this investigation.
Police are working to find any possible additional victims. If you have any...
Investigators say Gregory Ward allegedly assaulted a middle school student just over a week ago. Court documents say her mom used her cell phone to track where the girl was and caught Ward in the act.
Disturbing details are now coming to light after investigators say a math tutor raped a young teenage girl.
Our office reviewed it and thought pretty clearly that this is a rape of a child case and also could charge communication with a minor for immoral purposes.
The King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office says it rush filed the case.
When you have allegations like this of the sexual abuse of a child, you want to make sure that you get that before the court right away.
Court documents say the assault happened at Bananas Grill in Seattle. Employees saw Ward and the 13-year-old go into a bathroom, but they never came out. Court documents say once inside the bathroom, Ward took off her clothes and sexually assaulted her. The victim told Seattle police that Ward took pictures of her and told her to keep everything a secret. The victim's mother told investigators that her daughter said she was meeting up with friends but wasn't answering her phone. She used her cell phone to track her location and found her daughter and Ward in an alley. Her mother says she found Ward kissing and touching the victim, and when he saw the victim's mom, he ran off.
We appreciate when we have investigators and also parents who are on the watch for things like this.
Ward admitted to investigators that he sent explicit messages to the victim and said what happened in the bathroom was goofing off. He denied the assault. Ward was arrested and booked into the King County Jail on December 31st. A judge set bail at $250,000.
What King County prosecutors wanted was for him to have a court order to have no contact with minors of any kind. And also, if he is able to post bond, that he have electronic home monitoring with GPS tracking.
Court documents say the victim and Ward met at Aki Karosi Middle School through the City Year program. He also worked with students at South Shore Middle School.
Seattle Public Schools says Ward is no longer allowed on SPS property and he no longer has access to student information. The City Year program also says that he was terminated. In Seattle, Bridget Chavez, King 5 News.
St. Helens High School teacher has been arrested again on additional sex abuse charges, bringing his total of sex abuse charges to 19. 46-year-old Eric Stearns was arrested back in November. He was indicted on 8 counts of sex abuse. The Columbia County District Attorney's Office has now uncovered what they say is more evidence. Stearns remains at the Columbia County Jail. You can read more about our coverage on the St. Helens sex abuse allegations at KOIN.com.
Police in Norwalk say they've arrested a substitute middle school teacher. Investigators claim this man, seen here, 64-year-old Richard Lavallo, sent inappropriate messages to students. Lavallo is expected to face a judge early next month.
Thanks for joining us. This evening, Maplewood police are urging families to talk with their children.
A school district employee was caught and charged with hundreds of files of child pornography. 30-year-old William Haslick faces at least 10 counts of child pornography possession. Because of his access to children, police told Adam Duxter the investigation could only be getting started. We do want to warn you, some parts of this story could be difficult to hear.
Coward Elementary School in North St. Paul is just one of 3 schools 30-year-old William Haslick has worked at for the past 4 years as a recess and traffic monitor. Wednesday night, Haslick behind bars after making his first court appearance. Court documents say a tip from the BCA's Internet Crimes Against Children unit led them to Haslick's home, where he confessed. Investigators say they've recovered multiple USB drives with approximately 800 files in total, some involving children as young as 3 years old.
It's okay for parents to be concerned.
Lieutenant Joe Steiner of Maplewood Police says because of Haslick's access to children, they're urging parents to talk with their kids.
You know, we want the parents and the families to know that we're working closely with the school district on this, and we're taking it very seriously. Predatory offenders that target children are very concerning, and it's disgusting at the same time.
In a letter to parents, the district says Haslick is on administrative leave and can't interact with students or be on school ground.
Child sexual abuse material cases can be very work intensive. Any case like this is difficult, concerning, and we want the public to know that we take the safety and welfare of children very seriously.
Adam Duxter, WCCO News.
Police are emphasizing this evening, if you think your child is a victim in this investigation, call the Minnesota BCA Victim Coordinator. And that number is on the screen right now. It is 651-793-2465. You can also find it on our website.
She was trusted by the school district and by parents. But tonight, a 5th grade teacher in Cape May Courthouse is accused of having a sexual relationship with one of her students. Detectives say the abuse started when the child was 11 and lasted for years, and that the two share a child. Wednesday night, I'm Shari Williams. Rick has the night off. The big story on Action News tonight is a South Jersey teacher behind bars accused of sexually assaulting a young boy and having a child with him. Action News reporter Leland Pender has the story from Cape May County, and detectives say the investigation is far from over.
Middle Township Police and the Cape May County Prosecutor's Office both investigating here. Prosecutors say these alleged crimes occurred between 2016 and 2020, but the arrest just coming Wednesday. They're now asking anyone that might have even more information to please come forward. Once a 5th grade teacher, now behind bars with bond revoked. 34-year-old Laura Karen was taken into custody at a home on Orbit Drive Wednesday in Cape May Courthouse. Prosecutors allege she sexually assaulted a former student for several years and had his baby.
Do you know Miss Karen? There's nothing to see here. There's no one that wants to speak with you.
This unidentified man pulled up to the home while we were there. A short time later, another woman appeared from the home after we'd already left.
Do you want to talk to us?
No, I want you to see.
You came outside. Please, I'm willing to talk to you. Authorities say the abuse began when the victim was 11 years old. According to the criminal complaint, a few years later, Karen gave birth to the victim's baby. Karen taught at Middle Township Elementary number 2, and the victim was once her student. Prosecutors say Karen and the victim's family became friends, leading to the victim and his siblings staying overnight with Karen once or twice a week, but at some point they began living with Karen permanently. Investigators say the case came to light last month when the victim's father posted on social media saying Karen's 5-year-old child looked very similar to him and his son. Neighbors say the arrest Wednesday appeared discreet. This woman said she saw multiple black SUVs but didn't realize they were police.
If it's true, I feel sorry for the people.
According to the prosecutor's office, the school district will have support services and counselors available for students, teachers, or families who may need that in light of this news. We did reach out to the school district for comment, but did not hear back. Here in the community of Cape May Courthouse, Leland Pender, Channel 6 Action News.
He taught elementary school classes, even organized athletic activities. Now a former private school teacher in Thiensville is in jail tonight, accused of enticing students at school. Sam Kramer is here in studio with a look at what we know right now. Sam, this goes back a year?
Yeah, hi there, Ben. Prosecutors say some parents met with the teacher to discuss his behavior toward their child in January of last year. They say he broke down and compared his actions to Jesus. But it wasn't until a report to Child Protective Services in November put this teacher on the radar of Thiensville's police chief.
From a position of leadership, a criminal complaint accuses Daniel Rick of picking favorite boy students each year and having some of them sit on his lap where he'd touch their stomachs or rub their backs and kiss them. One student told Thiensville police the 36-year-old teacher and athletic director at Christ Alone Lutheran School later told the student he had to stop because he, quote, could lose his job or go to jail. The complaint adds when parents met with Rick to discuss his behavior in January 2024, Rick quickly broke into tears, then tried justifying his actions with a comparison to Jesus, saying, quote, let the little children come to me. Last month, detectives learned of even worse accusations dating back to January 2024. A student told police Rick asked him to come to his classroom after school. According to prosecutors, Rick compared the boy's athletic abilities to older students, then pulled the boy's pants down to, quote, see his pubic hair. Rick's accused of later kissing the boy on the cheek and instructing him not to tell anyone because he, quote, didn't want to get in trouble. The complaint says Rick admitted what he did was wrong in an interview last Friday with investigators. When we reached out to the school, they shared a statement sent to parents, which says in part, student safety is a top priority for us at Christ Alone Lutheran School. It goes on to say, we understand this information raises concerns, but the school did not elaborate further, citing the ongoing investigation.
And Rick made his initial appearance in court this afternoon. The judge set his bond at $100,000 and ordered he have no contact with the school, the church, or anyone under the age of 18. Kim?
And we continue to follow the latest regarding the arrest of a Tucson high school teacher. Today, 45-year-old James Badger was booked on multiple counts of sexual exploitation of a minor.
News 4 Tucson's Connor McGill joins us live right now outside TUSD headquarters. So, Connor, how are people reacting to this news? Pretty alarming there.
Angelique Sean, that's absolutely right. Many I had the chance to speak with today expressed a load of concern. Some hearing the news for the first time, others have already heard about it. But again, just a big shock for the community overall.
It's very concerning and disturbing having two children that are high schoolers and what they might be exposed to when they go to school every day, and we're not there to make sure they're safe and what they're exposed to. It's just very disturbing.
It's just like really scary being a student. Like you don't really know who you to trust, even as like teachers, like adults in your life that are supposed to be like role models for you. Like they're dangerous, or some of them are, and you don't know which one's which.
Faces 10 felony counts of sexual exploitation of a minor. In the interim complaint obtained by News 4 Tucson, documents reveal that in October of 2024, detectives from Tucson Police began an investigation into an individual believed to be downloading child sexual abuse material. The complaint describes 10 pornographic images of girls under the age of 15 that were found on a laptop owned by Badger. That material was connected to Badger following multiple search warrants. Today, he was officially taken into custody, and he is currently being held on a $150,000 bond. Now outside TUSD headquarters, and now in a statement released today, they say they intend to fully cooperate with the Tucson Police Department as this investigation continues on. Live outside TUSD headquarters, Connor McGill, News 4, Tucson.
Like, you feel angry because somebody let this happen for so long without it going punished or anything like that.
Students at Hudson's Bay High School planning to walk out on Monday, their first day back after the winter break. They feel school administrators failed to keep them safe after they recently discovered one of their teachers was arrested on allegations of sexual misconduct with a former student. Good evening. Thanks a lot for joining us, everybody. I'm Steve Dunn.
And I'm Deborah Knapp. Charges against that teacher have been dropped after prosecutors discovered the statute of limitations for the crimes alleged to have occurred had expired. K2's Christina Giardinelli talked to the student organizing Monday's protest. She's at the live desk now. So, Christina, the teacher is still on administrative leave.
Yeah, that's right. He remains on leave until all the investigations, internal and external, are closed. One of the things we learned from the court documents in that closed case is that accusations against this teacher were from 2013 to 2017 and were documented in his disciplinary file. Students say something should have been done sooner.
I posted it on my Instagram, and then people posted it on theirs and just continued from there.
A number of students at Hudson's Bay High School in Vancouver are not planning to attend class on Monday. Jessica Malone, a senior at the school, tells me she organized the protest over the winter break after hearing about the arrest of one of the school's teachers accused of sexual misconduct.
And we all felt really almost betrayed by the school, kind of. Like, you go there, you go to the school to be safe and to learn, but then you find out something like this happens and you feel like you can't trust anybody.
Vancouver police arrested 43-year-old Chadbrion Gatson on December 20th. He was charged with multiple counts of sexual misconduct. Court documents accused him of having sex with a 16-year-old student in a classroom in 2013. On December 27th, prosecutors dropped the case because the statute of limitations had expired. Deputy Prosecutor Laurel Smith explains what happened.
The law, as currently written, would say there's no statute of limitations. They made the arrest on that charge, and so then he was in court the next day.
Smith explains that the state of Washington changed the statute of limitations in 2019, but the changes were not retroactive. Her office didn't review police charges till after Gatson's first court appearance, which is standard.
Currently, as it stands, for this crime, sexual misconduct with a minor, there is no statute of limitations. However, when we go back to 2013, it was a 3-year statute of limitations. And so we would have had to have known of the crime and filed charges within 3 years of them occurring. So that puts us somewhere in 2016.
According to court documents, Hudson's Bay had looked into allegations against Gatson as early as 2013 when a custodian had reported allegedly witnessing him having sex with a teen in a classroom. It's unclear whether those incidents were reported to law enforcement or DHS at the time. Malone feels administrators should have done more to keep students safe.
More should have happened back when it first started, because now it's unable to continue because of statute of limitations.
She hopes Monday's protest will empower students and other potential victims to have their voice heard. Now, the school district has declined interview requests. In an email to staff and parents sent December 27th, Hudson's Bay administrators announced Gatson's charges had been dropped, but said they would keep him on administrative leave as investigations continue. Now, court documents show Vancouver police are looking into more recent allegations, and we'll be watching this closely and covering those student-led protests on Monday. For now, at the live desk, Christina Giardinelli, K2 News.
Christina, thank you.
We now have a list of items confiscated as part of a child porn investigation involving a Johnston County teacher. According to newly released search warrants, officers searched Jeffrey Hightower's home and vehicle on August 22nd. They seized 2 laptops, 2 hard drives on a bed, a cell phone, and an external hard drive that was duct taped to the bottom of a dresser drawer. Authorities say those devices contained images and videos of child pornography.
A Woodland High School English teacher is accused of having a sexual relationship with a student in Monterey County.
Anytime there's a case that involves a juvenile,
This goes to the top of our list.
Monterey County Sheriff Tina Nieto says her office recently learned of the sexual misconduct between the 25-year-old teacher and a male student. That conduct, Nieto says, occurred while Mika Yoneda worked as a teacher at North Monterey County High School.
This is something we don't tolerate in Monterey County. And so my detectives did their initial investigation. They discovered, they believe that this did occur. We had enough probable cause to go out and we arrested Mika, and she's being held on a $1.5 million bail.
Following the arrest, the North Monterey County Unified School District shared a statement with district families, reading in part, "The reported incidents, which occurred during the 2022-23 school year and on campus, represent a serious breach of trust and are in no way reflective of the values or standards we uphold as a district." In Yolo County, a spokesperson for the Woodland Joint Unified School District says Yoneda is on administrative leave. And while they don't believe any Woodland students are connected to the investigation, the district is working with the sheriff's office in Monterey as they continue to investigate.
Right now in the investigation, this is the only victim that we're aware of. But if anybody has any additional information, because we're going to continuously work on this case, please step forward. We need to find out if there are more victims out there.
In Woodland, Leanne Denyer, KCRA 3 News.
The sheriff's office says Oneda also worked as a private tutor while teaching at North Monterey County High School. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Monterey County Sheriff's Office.
Welcome to the hit list. You can't escape. Your face on the news. Don't mess with fate. Locked up in prison. Wood chipper running hot. Police on a mission. Hope you don't get caught. Silver bracelets tight. Get arrested tonight. In this endless fight. Can't hide from the light. Silver bracelets tight, get arrested tonight. In this endless fight, can't hide from the light. The choices you made, heading one way. No turning back, there's price to pay. Lies and deception, caught in the storm. Future in question, nowhere left to run. Silver bracelets tight, get arrested tonight. In this endless fight, can't hide from the light. The choices you made, heading one way. No turning back, there's price to pay. Oh yeah, no, no, yeah, yeah. The choices you made, heading one way. No turning back, there's price to pay.
Say, excuse me, Judge. How many times do I need to show these videos until people become aware?
Multiple times.
One for a rainbow, one for Amanda.
Who you playing with, sweetie?
Amanda.
Oh, who are you?
I'm Amanda. I'm 6, and I love unicorns.
Sexual predators are seeking kids online.
We don't know Amanda.
Learn how to report abuse at end-violence.org/protect.
Now get in there!